Okay, yesterday I sent a video and I discovered that that video was not really helpful. So today I said let me start by doing an introduction to what angle is. We review some of the types of angles that we have in relation to that question that I sent to you. So we are going to be considering angles, and as we've been taught, angles are formed when two or more lines meet or they intersect. And you've been taught the concept of angles right from your primary school, but when you go to your junior secondary class 1, that is the JSS1, JS2, JS3, they have to build more on your knowledge on angles. And I will just be looking at few types of angles that has to do with that question I sent to you. That question I sent to you yesterday. Now, I will start with the different types of angles. You know, we have let me start with the acute angles. You have the obtuse angle. These are the types I want to consider today. I just want to do a review for you. The obtuse angle. You have the reflex angle. You have the right angle. The right angle. You have the concave angle. We have complementary angle. These are the ones that has to do with that question I sent to you. We have so many types. We have supplementary angle. Supplementary angle. We have sum of angles on a straight line. We have sum of angle at a fixed point. Okay, so let me start with this. I'll just deal with these few types just to review this topic, so it will help you with that workings I did yesterday. Defining these types of angles that we have. We have the acute angle, the obtuse angle, the reflex angle, the right angle, the concave angle, complementary angle, supplementary angle, sum of angles on a straight line, and sum of angle at a fixed point. Now, what is an acute angle? An acute angle is an angle that is less than 90 degrees. An obtuse angle is an angle that is more than 90 degrees, but is less than 180 degrees. A reflex angle is an angle that is more than 180 degrees, but less than 360 degrees. The right angle is an angle that is exactly 90 degrees. The concave angle are two pair of angles that add up to 360 degrees. Complementary angle are two pair of angles that add up to 90 degrees. Supplementary angle are two pair of angles that add up to 180 degrees. Then sum of angles on a straight line, you know, they add up to 180 degrees. I will still review this. And sum of angle at a fixed point are angles that add up to 360 degrees. So these three angles are two pair of angles. This concave angle are two pair of angles that add up to 360 degrees. Complementary angle are two pair of angles that add up to 90 degrees. And supplementary angle are two pair of angles that add up to 180 degrees. Now, I've tried to draw out the types of angles that I explained earlier, so you can have a pictorial representation of what I'm explaining. Now, this is an acute angle. How do you know this is an acute angle? You've been taught how to measure angles. Angles are measured with a protractor, but that's not what we are going through today. This is an acute angle. It's an angle that is less than 90 degrees. This is an obtuse angle. This is an angle greater than 90 degrees, but less than 180 degrees. This is a right angle. It's an angle that is exactly 90 degrees. This is a reflex angle. It's an angle that is more than 180 degrees, but less than 360 degrees. This is a complementary angle. Complementary angle are two pair of angles that add up to 90 degrees. You can see these two angles, they add up to 90 degrees. This is supplementary angle. There are two pair of angles that add up to 180 degrees. This is a concave angle. There are two pair of angles that add up to 360 degrees. Now, this is a straight line, and you can see that line meeting at this point here. So whenever you have angles that makes half a turn, these are angle on a straight line. So irrespective of the number of lines that I may have here, once it's just the straight line, they add up to 180 degrees. That's why we say sum of angle on a straight line is equals to 180 degrees. Now, this is sum of angle at a point, a fixed point. This is a fixed point. So any angle that makes a complete turn, unlike this that makes half a turn, when it's half a turn, they add up to 180 degrees. But when it makes a complete turn, angle that makes a complete turn, they are sum of angle at a fixed point, and they are equal to 360 degrees. Now, we have seen the types of angles. Another topic that will really help you to understand that questions I sent to you is angle between lines and transversal. Now, not just line, parallel lines and transversal. Now, what is a parallel line? Any line moving at equal distance, but they can never meet each other, are called parallel lines. An example of parallel lines you can see around you, for example, I believe some of you have seen a transformer before. Those electric pole, those wire, they are parallel lines. They move at equal distance, but they can never meet. An example is also the rail, the rail for train. Those train, the rail, that line, you can see they are parallel, but they can never meet. So those are parallel lines. Now, what's a transversal? A transversal is any line that cut across parallel line or non-parallel line. Now, that's why you can see what I drew on the board. These are parallel lines, and we use this arrow in mathematics to indicate that any line is parallel. And this line drawn across that parallel line is what we refer to as transversal. Now, what are the angles between parallel lines and transversal that you must be able to identify? Now, this is a parallel line and this is a transversal. Now, we have corresponding angles, we have alternate angles, we have vertically opposite angle. Most time I use the letters or alphabet to remind my students of those angles. The corresponding angles is the F-shaped angles. It looks like letter F. Irrespective of the direction it's facing, you can see this letter F. Look at this, is under letter F, but same as if it is turned upside down. Look at these two. These angles you have here, they are equal. They are called corresponding angle, or you say the F-shaped angle. So when you look at this parallel line now, and this parallel line and the transversal, this angle here, look at letter F. So this angle here is equal to this angle. They have the same size. They are F-shaped angles. Now, you also have the alternate angles. The alternate angle, I call it the Z-shaped angle for students, so they can easily remember that angle. Look at it, the Z shape. So the alternate angle are also equal. So when you see, if you can identify letter Z between parallel lines and transversal, look at letter Z here, Z. So this angle here is the same as this angle. Look at another letter Z facing the right. This is one letter Z facing the right. This is another letter Z facing the left. So this angle here is the same as this angle. This angle here is the same as this angle. These are alternate angle. They are equal. Corresponding angle are equal, F-shaped angle. Alternate angles are also equal, Z-shaped angle. Now, we're going to look at co-interior angle. This is often called the C-shape or the U-shaped angle. Now, look at this parallel line. You can see, if you can identify letter C there or letter U, you will get it right. Look at letter C here. This angle here and this angle. This angle here and this angle. This angle inside this diagram here, inside this diagram here, look at it, inside this diagram here, are called co-interior angle. And what do you need to know about co-interior angle? They add up to 180 degrees. So this angle here and this angle add up to 180 degrees. This angle here and this angle here add up to 180 degrees. Now, the last one is the vertically opposite angle. This is often called the V-shaped angle. It's like when you have two letter V, one facing upward and the other one facing downward, joined together. Look at it, V-shaped angle. It's called the alternate angle. Now, what do you need to know about alternate angle? This, when you have two lines, two straight lines intersecting each other at the center. Look at one straight line on that straight line. They intersect at the center. That means they cross each other at the center. Now, you can see when two lines intersect at the center, 4 angles are formed. 1, 2, 3, 4. This angle here facing this angle, you can see this angle is facing this. These 2 angles facing each other are equal, and these 2 angles facing each other are equal. They are called vertically opposite angles. And another thing you need to know is this angle meet at a fixed point, and I remember telling you that angle at a fixed point add up to 360 degree, angle that makes a complete turn. So all this angle add up to 360 degree. You should also see there's a straight line. Look at the straight line, and you have this line here. These 2 angles add up to 180 degree. These 2 angles add up to 180 degree. These 2 can also add up to 180 degree. These can also add up to 180 degree. That's all you need to know about angle between line and transversal. Now, look at the question under angles. What I've taught you will really help you to answer this question, so pay attention very well. Now they said find the value of angle A, angle B, and angle C. Where is angle A? This angle A, this angle B, this angle C. Once you can identify that, now what things do we need to work on? You can see you have a triangle, but you can also see a parallel line. Look at the parallel line, look at the transversal. Now, what do you need to know? Look at this straight line, look at this angle. I told you angles on a straight line, angle that makes half a turn. Do you remember that? Look at this makes half a turn. So if you can use sum of angle on a straight line to work on here. You can also use that to work here. Look at this angle. Can you see that? But before that, let me help you with the first thing you need to work on here. Look at parallel line, and look at parallel line, look at transversal. You remember the C-shaped angle? Look at C. Can you see it? Co-interior angle that add up to 180 degree. So when you look at that, let me draw it out for you to see. Now this is a parallel line, and this is transversal. Look at this angle. This angle happens to be 76 degree, and this is C. We can get C. This is co-interior angle, and I told you that they add up to 180 degree from the last lesson. So C plus 76 degree must give us 180 degree, because they are what? Co-interior angles. Co-interior angles. Now let's work on that. To get C now, we just take this over to the other side. C degree will be 180 degree minus 76. Can we see that? Then angle C will be 180 minus 76 will give us 104. So we've gotten angle C to be 104. We need to work on angle B and angle A now. Very simple. To work on angle B, we have an idea. This triangle is an isosceles triangle. Look at the triangle. This is an isosceles triangle. This is B. This is 56. And we need to get angle B. In an isosceles triangle, you should know that these 2 angles at the base of this triangle are the same. That's why you can see this line of symmetry. So this line of symmetry is telling that this is an isosceles triangle. And what do you need to know about isosceles triangle? These adjacent sides are of the same length, and this base angle are equal. So if this is 56, this angle here is also 56. Then how do you get B? The sum of the angle in a triangle is 180 degree. So these 3 angles must add up to 180 degree. Then let's get B. Angle B plus this 56, these 3 angles must give us 180 degree. Sum of the angle in a triangle. So angle B, these 2, when you add it together, you are going to have 112 degree, which is equals to 180 degree. So take this over to the other side to get your B. Angle B now will be 180 degree minus 112 degree. So angle B will give you 180 minus 112, that will give us 68 degree. Then finally, let's get angle A. Very easy. We have gotten B, we have gotten C. We have gotten B, we have gotten C. Let's get angle A. Look at angle A. You have a straight line. So you are given this to be A. We don't know this angle, but we know it from this triangle. This angle here is part of the angle in this triangle. I've gotten this angle to be 56. Look at it here. So this is also 56. And these 2 angles must add up to 180 degree. Sum of angle on a straight line. Angle that makes half a turn. Can you see that? That's what we also did here. We can also use that to work here. You can use that to work here. But since we have worked on this angle, let's just get our A without wasting time. So angle A now plus 56 must give us 180 degree. So to get angle A, I will say 180 degree minus 50.